Hi, welcome to the 2019 Procurement Bake Off Final. My name's Dan Jakes, I'm Head of Culinary Services for THG, and the idea of the video today is to make a recipe for the final and show our finalists what they're going to be making on the day. So over the last many weeks, the guys from the procurement team have been bringing in different items of baked goods and they've been judged and scored. And we finally managed to nail it down to 3 fantastic finalists, and they're Andy, Dave and Fallon. So this is the recipe they're going to be making, and we decided to make something that was going to be reasonably straightforward, simple, but not too simple. So to check this, I brought my assistant. This is Chelsea Jakes. Chelsea, how old are you?
I'm 12.
12. Okay, and do you have any culinary or baking experience?
Absolutely none, but probably more than these jokers.
Fantastic! So, without further ado, let's make a start. So today, if you haven't guessed it already, we're going to be making a chocolate Victoria sponge cake. And for this particular recipe, we're going to need 250 grams of caster sugar. We're going to need 250 grams of unsalted butter. We'll need a few shots of vanilla extract.
4 medium eggs.
We're going to need 50 grams of cocoa powder, and we're going to need 175 grams of self-raising flour. In addition to that, little bits of equipment: scale, spoon, wooden spoon, whisk, 2 sandwich tins, shaker, a food mixer, cooling rack, a mixing bowl and a sieve. All these materials and ingredients are going to be provided for our finalists when they appear in the final. And for the butter icing, we're going to need 175 grams of icing sugar.
10 mils of milk.
We're going to need 75 grams of cocoa powder and another 75 grams of butter.
Firstly, turn the oven to 180 degrees.
Grease and line 2 sandwich tins.
Sandwich tins we're using today, guys, are 20 centimetres each. And top tip for these: if you use the butter paper that it's wrapped in, it makes it a bit easier. So we're going to start by creaming together the unsalted butter, 250 grams. Very good. And then we're going to add the 250 grams of caster sugar. And we're going to take a wooden spoon and we're going to start creaming them together.
It should be quite light and fluffy.
And place the other cake on top. Gradually beating the eggs. And if it starts to curdle, add a little bit of flour.
Whisk until you get an even consistency.
Give it a quick whisk. And next we're going to fold in the flour.
And then fold in the cocoa powder.
And finally 5 mils of vanilla extract. So that looks fantastic, Chelsea. Just remind me before we continue, how much culinary and baking experience have you got?
Not at all.
Fantastic. So the next step, separate the mixture into 2 baking tins. So we're just going to spread the mixture out. That looks pretty good. One of my top tips for this, guys, if you leave a little bit of a dip in the middle, it stops it rising too much. Hey, stop messing around. We've got filming to do. So once your cakes are completed, you put them into the oven on 180 degrees, and we're going to bake for about 20-25 minutes.
Can I ask, have you done any product placement yet?
No, we haven't. We better do some. Oh, thank you, my protein shaker.
So why have to cook and wash up? So Dad, what does the procurement team do?
Well, they kind of renegotiate contracts, and they scout around and they try and get the best deal, and lots of things, probably too many to mention.
So just bullying people to get more money?
Yeah, like home shopping. So once they're done, take them out the oven. Very good, and place them onto a cooling rack. Once cut, leave to cool.
The next step is to make the butter icing.
So for the butter icing, we're going to use 75 grams of unsalted butter, we're going to use 50 grams of dark cocoa powder, about 10 mils of milk, and 175 grams of icing sugar. So the first step is we take the butter in, and we're going to cream that up, so mix it up. And while we do that, we're gently going to go and sieve in the rest of the icing sugar. Gradually add some of the milk in, and that's going to help us make the icing sugar light and fluffy. And then we're going to add finally the cocoa powder, and that's going to give it a really nice chocolatey look and feel.
So it looks like that.
So the next stage, guys, is just to, using our chocolate butter icing, is to spread it nice and evenly, go all the way to the edges on the first part of the Victoria chocolate sponge cake.
So next we're going to make a chocolate ganache. Next we're going to make the chocolate sauce.
To make a chocolate ganache, we're going to need 300 grams of really good quality dark chocolate and 250 millilitres of double cream. Ready? Sorry, quick. And the next stage is to boil the double cream and pour into the dark chocolate, and then we're just going to whisk that until it's smooth. And it should look like this. And once the chocolate ganache has cooled a little bit, we're just going to pour it onto the cake. Trying to spread it fairly evenly. And we're going to cover the whole thing. The best thing about this recipe, guys, is if you've got a few dents and bumps in your cake, or you've put your thumb in it when you take it out of the oven, it's not really a problem, because this chocolate ganache on the top hides 1,000 sins. And then just smooth it over. And the final stage, guys, just take any excess chocolate away using a piece of glue roll or a palette knife or something like that. You want all the sides and the top to be covered because you're going to need it for the next stage.
The next stage is to cover the outside of the cake with chocolate fingers. I'm not really allowed to use any branding here.
We have been working quite hard there, haven't we? Should we have a break?
Yeah.
And then we're going to surround the chocolate cake using our non-branded chocolate fingers. Okay, for a bit of extra theatre and a little bit of an extra skill, we're going to leave a gap, say a couple of inches long, because I wanted the Maltesers and the sweets and stuff to kind of skittle out. And to finish the decoration, we're going to put some Maltesers on the top, on one side, and we're going to put Skittles on the other. Right, stop. And then finally, just push Maltesers or Skittles, whatever you got left, into the side of the cake, so it looks like it's spilling out over the top. So just a technical bit, we're going to cut the corner off one of the Maltesers bags. We're going to pour the Maltesers out into a bowl. We're going to need them later. And then we're going to break a large skewer, like a wooden skewer. Be gentle. Very good. And then we're going to take that broken skewer, like that, and we're going to attach it into the bag. Going to glue that with some edible glue, and we're going to need that later. And finally, using the model we made earlier, we're going to stick that in using the stick.
Then the last step is to cover the Malteser with edible glue and stick it onto the stick.
So like I said, guys, that's the end of our floating Malteser cake. This is what you're going to be doing in the final, so best of luck to all three contestants. And just to double check, Chelsea, you are...
I'm 12.
And you've never baked before, so this should be a done. Thanks a lot, Chelsea, for all your help. And of course Megan, who helped film it. This is Dan Jakes, THG. Let's go.